beautiful, and welcome back to my channel. See, even the rooster was like, "What's up, girl?" If you're a man, hey sir, how you doing? I really pray that at this very moment that you're watching this, that you are well, that you are doing very well, that you feel amazing in your skin, that your heart is full of joy, overflowing with joy. Because, see, at the end of the day, it's a state of being. And listen, I'm about to share how I unintentionally manifested a free trip to Hawaii. But now, knowing that this does contribute to the joy that I feel, joy is my energetic signature. So no matter what is going on in my life, even though I can have moments where, I don't feel the best, things are happening that, trigger unpleasant emotions or sensations in my body. Yes, I'm human and I'm going through all this experience. And I'm saying, like, if I knock my knee on something, on a chair, on a stool, I'm going to go like, ow, you know what I mean? Like, I'm going to feel some type of pain. That's okay, because underneath it all is joy. The joy stays present. The joy is the undercurrent. And that being said, I firmly believe that what heavily contributed to this trip is my joy. Because out of this joy are a whole bunch of other things that are born out of it. It's as if joy is the root of the tree, and the branches that come up and the leaves and the flowers that bloom from it are other things associated with that. Because from my inner joy, this is what I unintentionally share with others through different avenues, okay? And this could be, for instance, acts of kindness or of generosity. All because, let's say, behind those acts of kindness or generosity is joy, and in knowing that this act that I'm doing is bringing an extension of joy into this person's life. Do you see what I'm saying? Even if it's not joy, it could be some form of relief. It could be some form of peace. And there's joy behind that because it feels good to, let's say, if you went from being stressed to now being more at peace. There's a joy beneath it all. Anywho, so let me tell you the story. And maybe I'll have time to tell the story before my friend comes back. So, 9 years ago was my second trip to Hawaii. I stayed here for a few months. I was writing a thesis on manifestation. And what better place to write it than Hawaii? Because here, the energy, man, you say something and it happens almost instantly, okay? During that trip, I met this couple. Two of the most amazing human beings I've ever met in my whole life. I keep telling them they're not normal human beings. They are angels who decided to come on earth and experience being humans and just, be amongst us and just bless us with their presence, with their joy, with their love. Love is definitely their frequency, like pure love. They radiate that the same way the sun radiates its light and the heat, okay? So I met them at that time and we connected almost instantly, okay? And the way that they were just so incredibly friendly with me, and especially at that time in my life, I had just, FYI, side note, at the time that I traveled to Hawaii in 2016, I was coming from a major friendship breakup from a whole group of people, not just one person, a whole group of people. So I had certain feelings about connecting with people at that very time in my life. I wasn't trying to make friends. I was like, people suck, fuck people, I ain't trying to, I'll be kind, I'll be polite, I'll be civil, I'll be respectful, but I'm not trying to connect with people on a deeper level and make friends. So when they showed up, they completely shifted that in me. Like they gave me that gift that extraordinary human beings still exist. They gave me that. And from there, an absolutely wonderful friendship, sisterhood, brotherhood grew. And so I went back to my country after a few months of being here, and we stayed in touch. And every time we would talk or we would text each other, it was as if we just saw each other yesterday. Like time does not exist in our friendship. So last year, a couple of years, well, yeah, okay, so a couple of years ago, they told me that they got engaged. And they said, you have to be at the wedding. And they kept insisting, you're in the bridal party. I was like, done and done. And so last year, they called me and they're like, and fun fact about this story is that they did not consult each other before they called me. They did not consult each other. But they knew, like, okay, let's call Carol. They called me and they said, we don't want you in the bridal party. We want you to officiate this wedding. And they were both like, wait a minute. I thought about her. It came to me that she should officiate the wedding. And the other one was like, oh my God, I had the same intention too. So when they mentioned it, they had not had a conversation about it. But they both got the same download from the ethers that I am the one to officiate their wedding. So when they asked me, I was like, oh my God, I'm so honored, but I'm not, an officiant, so I was like, okay, yes, I'll figure it out. So I went online and did the thing, and got the paperwork, and I could officially officiate weddings. So last October, I traveled to Florida where the wedding was happening because most of their family is there. Some of them could not travel to Hawaii for the wedding. And it was the first time I saw them in 8 years by that time. The wedding happens in November. It's an amazing, amazing event. So much love. It was a small wedding, maybe 25, 30 people tops. But oh my God. You could touch love in the air. That's how much love was potent. You were just bathing in that energy. And from that, even in their own families where they had, family issues, problems got resolved just from being in that energy. Like, that's a whole other story time, but it was pure magic. Okay. So that happened. Great. I come back to my country. I do my thing. I keep on traveling, whatever. I live life. And then a couple of months ago, they called me and they said, Carol, as a thank you, and mind you, I was not expecting nothing from them at all. I didn't ask for payment, like, oh, well, I'm going to have to charge you. Nothing, because it came from my heart. The joy in my heart from just knowing that I would officiate their wedding, I was like, yo, you have gifted me with something so sacred to be the one to formally, bring you into that union as a married couple. They were already married in spirit, but, to make it, in the 3D concept. I expected nothing. It was just, that was my gift already. That was my payment, that you chose me. You trust me with that very important job. So when they called me a couple of months ago, they're like, yo, we want to offer you a gift as a thank you for officiating our wedding. And I was like, you don't need to give me nothing. Your friendship, your love is enough to last me a million lifetimes. Okay. But they insisted and they said, we want you to come back to Hawaii. We're offering you a trip to Hawaii, where they live, where they reside. I was like, what? Now, throughout the years, I always had the intention of coming back to Hawaii. I had gone twice, and I knew like one day I have to go back, but I always had to travel somewhere else. Other opportunities would come up, so I would travel to that place. But I knew deep down, I was like, yeah, one day I'm going to go back. I did not expect it to show up this way at all. At all. So, of course, I said, yes, I'll come. They didn't really give me a choice. They were like, girl, we're buying your plane ticket now. So, what dates are you available? And the same week that they announced that to me, a couple of days before that call, I was watching a movie with my niece, Lilo and Stitch, okay? I ain't gonna lie. I watched the first 5-10 minutes and I fell asleep, okay? I was comfy on the couch, snuggled up with my niece. So I knew it was gonna happen, but I guess just being in her presence, I was like, girl, we're having a auntie niece moment, but yeah, I fell asleep. But before I did, my niece told me she was excited for me to watch this movie. Oh, I feel bad. I have to watch it with her again. But she said she was excited for me to watch this movie because it was set in Hawaii. And she knew that I loved Hawaii. And I told her, I look forward to going back, girl. So thank you for putting that movie on because it helps me reconnect and channel that energy of being there. And then a few minutes later, I fell asleep. But then a couple of days later, that's when my friends called me and told me that they were offering me this trip. It's, I go silent because I'm like, man, I didn't even try. I did not try. All I knew, all I know is to stay rooted, anchored, grounded in my joy, in the deep well of joy that is within me. And that by being of service to humanity, to the environment, to everything that is, to myself, from that place of joy, just for the sake of joy, beautiful things happen. And I don't always have to be intentional about it. Sometimes I am. Many times I am. But oftentimes I'm not. And life will surprise me in this manner. And it's not the first time in my life that this happens. It's not the first time. So by just being myself, and by being myself, I'm talking about the authentic truth of being joy, things are born out of it. Fruits come out of those flowers. Juicy, delicious, bright, colorful fruits. And by fruits, of course, I'm referring to manifestations, to magic. And I had to sit down with that for a while and reflect on that. And I noticed how, man, just from being myself and tapping into that joy and allowing it to flow through me, to fill me up, and then from that overflow, it cascades onto people's lives around me, whoever's around me, it comes back. It has come back with letters, with notes. Like people legit leaving me notes on my door, on my bed, depending on when I was traveling, they would just leave it on my door. If I was in a dorm room or whatever, they would leave it on my bed by sending me messages of love, of being grateful. That what my friends have done for me when the second time I came here and I first met them, and how they made me believe in true friendship again, and like loving friendships. I have brought that to other people. Somebody told me in a note, I made them believe in humanity again. And I'm like, I receive it and I'm grateful. But at the same time, I'm like, it's not me as a person. It's not Caroline the person. It's the joy within me. And it's that same joy that is accessible to everyone. And that's why we can inspire each other like that. We make each other feel ways where we're just like, oh, I want to gift you. How can I show you how grateful I am? That could be with anybody because we all have access to that. The same way my friends are love embodied, you can be love embodied. You just have to choose. You can be joy embodied. You just have to choose. You can be abundance embodied. You just have to choose that is your state, no matter what is going on. Now, at the time that I was going through what I was going through back then, sure, I completely went, from being joy to, I experienced different states of being. But they reminded me, girl, come on back to who you are. No matter what. Sometimes people will break your heart, feel the pain, feel the loss, grieve the relationship. Allow yourself to feel those emotions and let those emotions move. Don't bottle them up somewhere in your body, in your spirit, in your heart. Nah, release that weight from your shoulders. Release that weight from your heart. Allow your heart to become as light as a feather. And come back to the truth of who you are. Because no matter what happens with other people or with circumstances, whatever, you can still decide and be anchored in who you know yourself to be, what your energetic signature is. So even through difficult moments, I can still experience joy because it's within myself. I just have to close my eyes and turn my gaze inward and connect to joy. And from there, I still make moves in joy. Even with problems in life, we're humans, we deal with shit. But by staying anchored in that joy, I've realized throughout the last, at least 10 years of my life that I've been doing this conscious work of, always coming back to the joy, always coming back to the joy, no matter what's going on. I have moments, if I feel emotions, let them come out, but coming back to the joy. Even knowing that even when I'm feeling sad, joy is under all of it. It's there. It's like clouds in the sky. Sometimes it's a storm going on. It's a tornado. That's okay. The sun is still behind it all. The joy is still behind it all. And from there, I just noticed how, wow, a lot of things have come to me that I did not even ask for. I didn't intentionally go like, I'm going to be a joyful being with this person so they give me something or, to get something. Nah. Now, I do practice intentional manifestation. However, I know that manifestation is born out of who you are, not what you want to get. And from there, I do my inner work. I come into alignment with what it is I desire to experience, and I make it do what it do. But outside of the whole, intentional manifestation realm, just by being a joyful being, by staying aligned and anchored in that vibrational frequency, beautiful things will show up in my life without me even trying to get them, asking for them, or expecting them. And that's how so many things have come up. I gave the example of notes, letters, beautiful messages, people giving me gifts left and right, or offering me opportunities left and right. Even working at the yoga studio in my hometown, I did not look for it. I had the thought though. Before I went back there, I had come back from my travels and I was thinking, man, while I'm in my hometown, it'd be nice to work part-time at a yoga studio because I want to bathe in that energy and I want time in my schedule to focus on building what I'm building. But I still want to have connection with people and ideally within a yoga setting. The manager of that studio, one of the managers, sent me a message on Messenger, maybe a week or two after I had that thought. I had that thought and then I let it go. I moved on. She messaged me And she said, hey, girl, you want to go for lunch? It's been a long time. It's been a year because I was there for the fall of 2024. And then I left. I traveled for the winter. She said, it's been almost a year. I haven't seen you. Let's catch up. Want to go for lunch? I said, sure. We went and had lunch. Beautiful conversation. We catched up, all that. And then she said, hey, by the way, like, I did want to catch up with you, but I also had a question for you. Like, I had, an intention for this lunch as well, outside of just catching up. And she said, how would you feel about coming back to the studio during the summer, just part-time, if you want to help us out, because we loved your energy. Like, having you around change every time you're around and you work, it changes the whole energy of the studio. And we love that energy. And if you could be there and it would help us out, we would just be happy to have you. They could have asked anybody. They could have, like, posted like listings for people to apply, but they wanted to ask me first before they did that. Just based off of the fact that I bring joy and high vibrations from simply being who I am. And of course, I'm good at, working with people and all that. But just based off of that. Not because I'm the greatest at doing a job. I know how to do a job. But it wasn't me as a worker that they were looking for. It was just like your presence, your energy, your joy, your vibe. We want that in the studio. And the owner keeps telling me every time she sees me, she's like, it's always different when you're here. Do you see what I'm saying? I'm not saying this to make myself special, because if I'm special, you're special. If I'm not special, you're not special, because we're all one and the same. I am telling you this so that you come into the awareness that it's about your state of being, your energetic signature. What do you cultivate within yourself? What energy do you cultivate within yourself that radiates out of you? This is what's going to make magic come into your life. Whether you're intentional about it or not, like me in this trip. Intentional about it, like me with working part-time at the yoga studio. Do you see what I'm saying? I have so many more examples of that. I'm not going to get into them all because this video is already 23 minutes long, but if you take anything away from this video, let it be that. Focus on what's going on here. Bring your attention inwards. Cultivate the energy within you that feels good. And that energy is what you would love to share with others. Whether it be love, peace, joy, happiness, abundance, generosity, compassion, respect. Whatever it is, first cultivate it here. And once that energy has become your signature, same way you sign on a paper, if you sign legal papers, you sign a check. We know that signature, that's so-and-so's signature. We can recognize it. Even if it's just a scribble, we know that, that's so-and-so's signature. I know she signed this paper, that's her signature. Somebody can recognize your signature even if it's a scribble. People will recognize your energetic signature in the same way. In the same way. And it's going to impact them in that way. That's how they're going to remember you. That's how they're going to know you. You see what I mean? So what energetic signature do you want to cultivate within yourself that this is my baseline? My baseline is joy. This is my ground zero. This is the soil. And everything else, it's the root. It's the roots of the tree. And everything else flows out of that, whether intentionally or not. Focus on that, and you'll see everything will flow accordingly. Life will surprise you in ways to give you more reasons to feel joy, for instance, if joy is the energy you desire to cultivate. It'll give you more reasons to notice abundance because you filled yourself up with it. Life will just mirror it right back at you and send you more reasons to notice abundance everywhere, because you first know it within yourself. Does that all make sense? So, this is how I unintentionally manifested a free trip to Hawaii. I've been here a week. I got another week to go. And now I'm waiting for my homegirl to come back home. We're going to go for tacos and just full joy existing. She even gave me this skirt that I'm wearing. Well, I don't want to mess up the camera, but maybe I got this. She gave me skirts. She just be giving me all kinds of things. Her and her husband, they just gifting me all the time. Yo, that could be a whole other video. Because you know what? I guess maybe I did intentionally manifest this trip, because around the time that they announced it to me, I was also thinking, I just want to bathe in love. Like, just fully bathe in love. Every day, all day, just bathe in love. In my love language. And yo, being here every day. Uh-oh. Loud in my ear. Hold on, bruh. He hungry. I have to go and feed the rooster and the chickens. But they have been bathing me in love. In my love language. Without me asking for nothing. Without me telling them. Yo, I might do a whole other video about that. So I guess I did intentionally manifest, but I did not know it would show up like this. And that's what's fun sometimes. You don't know exactly how it's going to show up. And you're like, life surprised me. You know the best way for me to experience this. So you go ahead and show me. And I've been shown. I've been shown. So anywho, let me know your thoughts about all of this. Have you been to Hawaii? If you haven't, please do. I'm on Big Island, my favorite Hawaiian island so far. And outside of that, I pray that you are having an absolutely amazing day. And that you keep cultivating the energy within you that you desire to feel every day of your life. Because you can offer that to yourself first. From that overflow of filling your own cup, you bless people around you with it. And watch how it's all going to come back to you. In like a tsunami wave of blessings in alignment with the energy you cultivate and give to others. That you cultivate within, that you give to yourself, and that you give to others. Man, you wait and see. Don't even wait. It's already happening. Decide. So it is. On that note, I'll let you go. And I'm going to see y'all in the next video soon. Maybe. We'll find out.